Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to module course number 3, where we're going to be talking about adjustments. So there will come a point in time on your fitness journey where you have found your calorie intake, you have found your perfect macros, you're making some amazing progress. Let's say you want to lose some body fat, you're losing around half a pound to a pound a week every single week for the next couple months or so. But then, boom, you hit a plateau, you hit a big, massive wall. You feel frustrated, you feel demotivated, and you feel like giving up. Do not do that. All you have to do is just make a couple adjustments, because from an evolutionary standpoint, our bodies are always looking for like homeostasis. Losing weight or gaining weight is outside of like our comfort zone, just from an evolutionary standpoint. So our bodies are literally fighting to be within homeostasis. And so by you trying to lose weight drastically, or by you trying to gain weight, that is outside of like what we would typically would want to do, right? Like we're all about comfort, we're all about sustainability. And so by you trying to do this, you will come across a plateau. It's just inevitable. It is part of the game. So don't get frustrated. It is all part of it. You're not doing something wrong at all. It's just part of the game. Using our 200-pound male example that we have been using over the past couple of videos, our 200-pound male has figured out his calories and macros, and he's been making some amazing progress. He's put himself into a 500-calorie deficit through his diet and activity level. He's been losing weight consistently every single week until it stops. He hits a wall and can't seem to lose weight anymore. What should he do now? He can make adjustments to either one of two things. So number one, he can make adjustments to his diet, so his caloric intake, how many calories he's eating on a day-to-day basis, or number two, to his activity level. So what type of cardio he's doing, or if he's getting steps in, whatever way he's burning calories throughout the day, he can make adjustments to that as well. So you can simply decrease your calories, or you can simply increase your activity level to put you further in that deficit. Because as you start losing weight, your NEAT, which stands for your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, will subconsciously start to go down. Now, what NEAT means is literally all the type of movements you make, all the small little stuff you do throughout the day that is not considered as exercise. A couple of examples of this could be literally me moving my hands around, like I am burning calories right now as we speak. However, I do not really view this as exercise. Like I'm not going to write down in my workout program, like, yeah, I did 5 sets of 10 reps of hand movements while I talked. Like, of course not. We just do this. Like we fidget throughout the day, whether it's just like snapping our fingers, tapping our feet, even like just like walking, like doing the chores, doing the dishes, walking from or going to the bathroom, breathing, like all these stuff. Like we burn calories subconsciously, right? And as you start to like chip away at the body fat, and I'm specifically using the body fat example right now, I will make a muscle building example as well, but strictly for the biggest portion of this module, I'll be talking specifically about fat loss. You can simply just like reverse of what I'm saying. If you're in like a muscle building plateau, like you're trying to gain weights, but you cannot gain any weight anymore, just do the reverse of this. However, like I said, I will kind of touch on that a bit later on, but mainly we're talking about fat loss. And so as you start to like chip away at the body fat, as your weight goes down, just subconsciously, like your day-to-day activity will subconsciously just like kind of like dimmer down, right? Like it'll just start to go down. And so what may have been your deficit calories are now no longer your deficit calories and are now probably just your maintenance calories, because your metabolism will start to like slow down to that deficit until that becomes like its new maintenance. Because like I said at the beginning, your body is constantly looking for sustainability. It's always trying to like find comfort, but you trying to lose weight that is uncomfortable and outside of our comfort zone. So naturally our metabolisms will start to like kind of like go down, and our deficit, which may have been a deficit for us on week 1, may not be a deficit for us anymore in week 5, let's say, for example, and that is now your new maintenance. So let's start with the diet. What changes should you make to your diet if you want to continue losing weight? Now, before we dive into what you should actually be doing, like the nitty gritty stuff, we have to first check a couple of boxes. This is a very common thing I see amongst a lot of you guys, not just you guys, but literally anyone that's on their fitness journey. The first couple of questions I ask them, if they tell me that, hey, Conan, like I'm struggling to lose weight, I'm pretty sure I'm in a deficit, I'll ask them these couple questions first. Are you tracking your food every single day, or are you just tracking a couple days of the week? And yes, this includes weekends. Weekends aren't just magically a write-off where you can just like eat whatever you want and the calories don't count. Unfortunately, your body will still keep track of it. And if you eat a lot more on the weekends than you would typically during the week on the weekday, then unfortunately that may put you out of the deficit, right? So that's something that really keep in mind. And by the way, I'm not a huge fan of the weekends. Weekends are only like, I think 100 years old. I think it got established in the UK in 1920 or something. So it's a pretty like modern invention by humans. And I'm not really sure why the weekends are a thing, but one thing that I heard Alex Hormozy talk about, who is like this big entrepreneur business guy, basically like it's a getaway for people who don't enjoy their job. So when you work a 9 to 5 or when you work a job that you don't really enjoy doing, you almost like look forward to the weekend, right? Because it's like it's your escape, which is probably why the weekend exists. But when it comes to fitness, when it comes to your health, like your body does not know the difference between a weekday and a weekend. Calories are still the same, whether it's the weekend or a weekday. Like a pizza is still pizza. A salad is still a salad. So make sure that number one, you're keeping track of your food every single day, Monday through Sunday. Because if you have a massive cheat meal or cheat days on the weekend, that could very easily put you out of a deficit, right? So you really have to be careful with that and really be diligent that you are tracking your food every single day before you make adjustments to your diet. I always tell this to you guys, but until I see a consistent couple weeks strung together, I will not be making changes to your diet because you have simply not shown me or yourself evidence that you can actually stick to a consistent calorie deficit, or at least stick to your caloric number. Calories are absolutely key, which I talked about in the first module. So make sure that you track it every single day. The second thing is make sure you're weighing your food properly with a food scale, preferably a digital food scale. It just makes it easier to keep track of things. You guys should all have a food scale by now. It's the most accurate way to keep track of your food. If you're eyeballing your stuff, that may not be super accurate. Like you may tell yourself that, oh, I'm eating 1 cup of rice every single day, but that 1 cup of rice may have been like a heaping cup of rice, or same thing with like ice cream. Like, oh, I only had 1 scoop of ice cream, but that 1 scoop of ice cream may have been a heaping scoop. And this is really common with peanut butter. Peanut butter is so dangerous, guys. You may think, and I personally made this mistake as well. I found out about this when I first got into tracking my food at a very young age. I think I was like 14 years old, and my heart just like sank because I was eating peanut butter by the tablespoons, and I thought, okay, only 1 tablespoon is only 90 calories. I'll have a couple of these, only a couple hundred calories, whatever. And then when I finally got a food scale a couple of years later, and I actually meticulously tracked my food every single day, like accurately with a digital food scale, I measured my peanut butter. I took out what I normally would take out. I'm like, okay, this is probably like a typical tablespoon, right? It's 90 calories. I looked at it, and it was like 50 grams. 50, like to give you guys some context, 1 tablespoon of peanut butter is 15 grams, which is 90 calories. And I took out 50 grams thinking that was 1 tablespoon. That's like 3 to 4 times double that. So I was eating like 400 calories, 500 calories per like my tablespoon, right? And if you're not keeping track of it accurately, you could not be in a deficit, right? So make sure you weigh your foods, you keep track of your food accurately. Just writing it down on a piece of paper and using measuring cups will not cut it. That is not enough. It is a great place to kind of start to get into the habit of tracking. But as you get more advanced with this, definitely you have to start tracking with a food scale if you want to see accurate results. Especially be careful with the dangerous foods, the nut butters, the oils, like even olive oil. A tablespoon you may just think is a drizzle, but it's a tiny amount, guys. So really be careful with that. And this kind of leads to the third thing, which is keep track of your snacks, keep track of your condiments, your creamers, your sugars. Like if you have a coffee in the morning, are you tracking the actual creams and sugars you're putting into it? Or are you just like not tracking it at all? Are you tracking the snacks that you're having at work or that you're having around the house? Or are you just like not tracking it at all? Are you tracking the ketchup that you put in your dinner every single day, or the mayonnaise you put on your sandwich, or the mustard? By the way, mustard has 0 calories, but yeah, the ketchup, the mayonnaise, even like the barbecue sauces, like some of the barbecue sauces are loaded full of sugar, and it may not seem like a huge deal. It's like, oh, it's only whatever, a small little lather on top. Like all these small little things can definitely add up. Like a couple sprays or a couple like dollops of ketchup, a couple dollops of like barbecue sauce here and there throughout the day could easily be an extra 100 to 200 calories. Easy. I've seen people put ketchup on their fries, and it is a lot. If you're not doing these, this could definitely take you out of a deficit. And the exact same thing applies to your daily activity level, aka your steps. Get your steps in every single day. Don't just get your steps in. Let's say your goal is 10,000 steps. Don't just get your steps in 3 days out of the week and then the other 4 days out of the 7 days of the week, just like not getting them in or just like falling short below that. Make sure you get them in every single day, right? So your every daily step count goal, make sure you keep track of it and make sure you get it in. And going back to the accuracy, I personally use a Fitbit. It's one of these. I talk about this in the coaching program, but I got this for $50. I think it's a Fitbit. Not really too confident about that, but yeah, I got this like 2 to 3 years ago. It's waterproof. It still lasts me to this day. I have to charge it right now, but this is the one thing I've been using over the past 2 to 3 years now to track my steps every single day. Alternatively, you could use your phone. However, the only issue with your phone is that you need to have your phone on you at all times. And obviously you don't have your phone on you all the time, right? Like if you're running back and forth from the bathroom or to the grocery store or taking the stairs, whatever, like you're not always going to have your phone on you. Whereas this handy little guy, an Apple Watch, a Fitbit, or whatever knockoff Chinese version you want to grab, will always be on your wrist. And then by the end of the day, you can either check it off saying, yes, I got my steps in, or if you still need to get some steps in, go walk around your block, go outside, walk around your kitchen, do some chores, do some errands, do whatever to increase your step count. So make sure you, food-wise, number one, that make sure that's on point. You're tracking accurately. You're tracking everything every single day. And secondly, you're getting your daily steps in. Now, once you have those bases covered and you are doing all those things, which I guarantee most people aren't. So that's the first issue or the first thing that we have to tackle. But once that has been like on point, we've tracked our foods accurately for weeks now, and we're getting our steps in every single day, and we're still not losing weight, here's what we should be doing next. Now, when it comes to the diet, these are the diet changes that you'll have to consider. Decrease your calories by 250. Very easy. This is usually in the form of carbs and or fats. Keep protein the same. As always, protein just stays at around 1 gram per pound of body weight. And like I mentioned at the, I think, second module, I talked about the importance of protein, not only for building and preserving muscle mass, but also for its satiating effects. Like I talked about, protein is the most satiating macronutrient out of all 3 macronutrients, which means that it takes a bit longer for your body to like fully break down and digest, which is absolutely amazing on a fat loss phase, because if your hunger is a big issue for you, it means that you won't really feel as hungry anymore by you simply increasing your protein intake. So protein will always stay a constant, even if you're bulking as well. Protein just always stays the same. So the only 2 macronutrients that you're going to be pulling calories from are either in the form of carbs and fats, preferably carbs, because like we talked about last time as well, fats do have an essential function for your hormones. Like you don't want to just like decrease your fats to like 0 grams of fat every single day, or just like 20 or 30 grams of fat every single day, because that is a very low amount and your hormones will go all out of whack. Your testosterone will decrease, your estrogen will decrease, your libido, your sex drive, all these hormones will decrease by you decreasing your fats. So fats have to be at a kind of like a baseline as well. It's ideally 0.4 grams per pound of body weight. You can get as low as 0.3 grams of fat per pound of body weight. It's fine, but anything below that I would say is a bit dangerous in terms of like, you don't want to put yourself in that situation. So for the most part, guys, just decrease your calories in the form of carbohydrates. So this should put you in a calorie deficit again to make you lose weight. And then you're basically just going to repeat the process. You're going to be losing weight for a couple of weeks, hopefully half a pound to a pound a week again. And then if you hit another plateau again, make sure you kind of go through the checklist that I put down previously. Make sure that you're tracking your stuff every single day, tracking your steps every single day, and you're still not losing weight. Then just repeat the process, decrease 250 calories from your diet, or you can make a bigger jump of around 500 calories. If you have a lot of like calories to like work with, let's say your deficit right now is around 2,500 calories, you can definitely put yourself in another 500 calorie deficit down to 2,000 calories. However, once you're down to like 1,800 calories every single day, like reducing by 500 calories, that's down to 1,300 calories. Like that's a substantially low amount of calories. So usually like the deeper in you are in your cuts, the smaller changes you want to be making, because realistically speaking, you still have to eat calories to like function as an actual properly functioning human being. So you don't just want to be slashing your calories like by a lot every single time you do make changes. Just make small little changes at a time, and you'll be surprised by how much progress you'd be able to make by that. And then again, if you hit another plateau, just make another small little adjustments. Now, when it comes to your cardio, you could definitely make changes to your cardio as well. You can simply just increase your daily activity. Let's say you're on average getting 10,000 steps every single day, and you want to keep your calories the exact same. You're like, you know what, Conan, like I just don't want to decrease my calories even further. I'm like, okay, cool. Well, all we have to do now is just simply increase your daily activity level. So we can bump you up from 10,000 steps on average every single day up to 12,000 steps every single day, or 15,000 steps every single day, which on average will, depending on, again, the person, depending on your weight, your height, your genetics, all that stuff, you'll probably burn around 100 to 200 calories extra by you increasing your daily step count by around 2,000 to 3,000 every single day. So to conclude the third module, as you diet down, your metabolism will slow down, as we discussed, because your body is constantly seeking for homeostasis, and by you trying to lose weight, that's obviously really uncomfortable, right? This will slow down your weight loss, even if you eat the same number of calories that helps you lose weight at the start. And so to lose even more weight, you need to either increase your physical activity or increase the calories you eat. And now really quickly, when it comes to the muscle building phase, let's say you're in a muscle building phase and you cannot, or you're just hitting a plateau, Again, just do the exact same thing, but in reverse. Either add 250 to 500 calories on top of your surplus, which used to be your surplus, may now be your maintenance, right? So just add more calories to that, or you can simply just decrease your step count by a tad. Be careful, don't to drop it too low, because you don't want to just be a fat sack of potatoes. Like, you still want to be somewhat active, so you will still want to have good cardiovascular health. So I don't want you guys to drop your steps to like a couple thousand every single day. Like, you should still have like a good baseline just to keep your cardio good, which will indirectly help you with your performance in the gym. Like, you don't want to be gassing out by just walking down to your kitchen. Like, you don't want to be out of breath by just doing simple tasks throughout the day. So make sure you keep your step count at a base minimum. And also, one thing I forgot to mention is that when you do increase your calories on a bulk, definitely keep your protein the same like we discussed. You can definitely increase the carbs, usually in the form of carbs. Just add 25 grams to 50 grams of carbs on top of that, or you can increase your fats as well, or do a mixture of both. So pretty self-explanatory there. Hopefully that all made sense to you guys. If you do have any questions for me, as always, just let me know, and I'll see you in the fourth module. Peace.